The story begins with Song getting emotional while watching his daughter Diyun's childhood video. When she was little, she loved him deeply and used to talk to him very sweetly. She even once said that when she grows up, she'll marry her father because no other boy could be as good as him. But now that Diyun has entered her teenage years, she's become very arrogant. She doesn't even talk to him properly anymore, ignores everything he says and tries to stay as far from him as possible. She doesn't even like her clothes being washed together with her dad's clothes. And if she wants anything, she asks her mamayo, not her dad. Song can't understand what the problem is. What mistake did he make that Diyun has started drifting away from him? Meanwhile, Diyun can't even tolerate having her dad's razor in the bathroom with her things. But her dad, Song, sometimes even uses her razor. Every morning, when Song has to go to the office and Diyun to school, Iwa gives Song bitter gourd juice and gives Diyun orange juice. They both drink and head out for the day. Even though they catch the same train and take the same route, Diyun stays busy on her phone. She doesn't even share the same train coach with her dad or pay attention to him. But Song always keeps an eye on her. That same day at school, while Diyun was talking with her best friend Soha, she accidentally trips and falls down the stairs, and her crush Jio sees her falling. This makes Diyun feel extremely embarrassed, and without talking to anyone she starts heading home. Jio follows her and checks if she's okay, then tells her to participate in the school music audition on Monday before walking away. For the first time ever, Diyun's crush Jio talked to her. He was super happy. But just then her father Song shows up and starts asking her who Jio is, what kind of relationship they have, and if she's planning to start dating instead of focusing on her studies. Irritated by Song's questions, Diyun tries to walk away, but then they both get a message from Ayo telling them to come to her father's, because he was very sick. But after going there they realize Grandpa is totally fine. He just wanted to spend some time with them, which is why he called them over. They start having dinner, but even there, Diyun is busy on her phone. So father and daughter begin arguing again. Since Iwa was planning to stay with Grandpa that night, she tells Song and Diyun to head back home. But outside the house their argument starts again. According to Song, Diyun should focus only on her studies. He provides her with everything she needs, so why can't she just study properly? How hard can studying really be? Why is she getting distracted with dating and music at this age? But Diyun is tired of listening to her father always taunt her. She has her own personal life. Why does her dad always interfere? Their argument escalates so much that Song breaks Diyun's headphones because she was ignoring him and listening to music. Both of them believe that they just can't understand how hard each other's lives really are. Then Grandpa walks in and sees their argument getting worse. There's a ginkgo tree nearby, and according to Grandpa, any wish made under that tree comes true. Grandpa was saying more about the ginkgo tree, but by then Diyun and Song had already left. On the way back they don't say a word to each other, until suddenly they get into a car accident. Later, when Song wakes up in the hospital, he's shocked to see his face and hear his voice. At the same time, Diyun comes out of the bathroom screaming. When they come face to face, Song is calling Diyun dad, and Diyun is calling Song daughter. That's when they realize their souls have been exchanged. They have no idea how this happened or how to return their souls to their original bodies. From this point we'll refer to each character by the body they're in. Song gets an idea and takes Diyun with him out of the hospital. They both get into a taxi and Song starts scolding the driver for smoking and drinking, saying there's a teenage girl in the back seat, so he shouldn't behave that way. The taxi driver finds this very strange since, according to him, Song is the teenage girl. He doesn't know Song's soul is in Diyun's body. Then Song tells the driver to stop in front of a mental hospital and gets out with Diyun. The driver now thinks they're both mental patients saying weird things. Inside the hospital, Song's friend Park is a doctor. Song tries to explain everything about their soul exchange, but Park doesn't believe a word. So Song starts revealing some of their old secrets from their school and college days. Park thinks Song must have told all this to his daughter. Angrily, Park starts hitting Diyun, thinking she's Song who betrayed his trust. And then Song hits Park back for laying a hand on his daughter. Annoyed by their nonsense, Park throws them out of the hospital. Now that they got no help from Park, Song takes Diyun to a store. Song buys his usual drinks while Diyun grabs a bunch of snacks. But the shop owner refuses to sell drinks to Song because he sees him as a teenage girl. This leads to an argument between Song and the shop owner, but the owner's wife steps in and calms things down. This incident makes both of them realize that they can't survive like this in each other's bodies. They have to return to their original bodies no matter what. That night during dinner, Song eats a lot and Ah keeps feeding him, thinking he's their daughter Diyun. Diyun starts worrying that if her dad keeps eating like this, he'll ruin her body figure. She reminds him about dieting. Song understands and limits his food intake. Then Aiwa offers Diyun a drink, thinking she's her husband's Song. But Song doesn't want his underage daughter to drink, so he makes up a lie that the doctor told Song not to drink. Aiwa believes it and starts drinking alone. But she drinks so much that she ends up mistaking Diyun for her husband and tries to get intimate with her. Diyun becomes very uncomfortable. Luckily, Aiwa passes out from the alcohol before anything happens. The next day, both father and daughter start looking for any information about how to switch their souls back. Diyun searches the internet and Song checks books in the library. But they find nothing. Both are desperate to return to their own bodies and scared they might end up trapped forever. Then Diyun remembers what Grandpa said about the ginkgo tree. They call him to ask more about it. Grandpa tells them that any wish made under the tree comes true. That day, both of them had said they could never understand each other's problems no matter how hard they try. So the ginkgo tree granted their wish, by swapping their souls, so they could truly understand the other's life and struggles. The wish is only valid for 7 days, meaning their souls will return to their bodies after 7 days, but only if they don't fight. If they argue again, they might stay trapped in each other's bodies forever. After this, they both understand they just have to survive these 7 days and handle each other's social lives carefully. The next morning, when getting ready for their day, they each take the juice prepared for them, Song with bitter gourd and Diyun with orange. But then they realize their bodies still need their respective nutrition, so they switch their juice glasses. While heading out, Diyun listens to music with headphones and Song walks like a man. She tells him to cover the back of her skirt with her bag while climbing stairs so nothing is exposed. Song argues that the skirt is too short anyway, and if she has that big of a problem she should wear longer skirts. But Diyun doesn't want to argue. She just explains how to behave around her friends. In return, Song explains how to behave at the office. They also exchange phones before heading to their respective destinations. At school, Song thinks going to school shouldn't be that hard. A few years ago he was a student too. In class, he sees a girl with glasses named Kyungmi and assumes she must be smart, so he tries to talk to her. But she completely ignores him. Then Duyun's best friend Soha shows up and tells him about a lie she told her parents to go on a trip with her boyfriend. This angers Song, who's still a father inside. So it's natural he reacts that way. Meanwhile, Diyun is confused at the office. She thinks people are greeting her, but they're actually greeting the boss. In her department, a team member named Won shows her model photos for their next product. But Diyun says if the product is for teenage girls, the model should also be their age. Everyone is surprised because Song himself had selected these adult models earlier. She tells them she changed her mind after thinking carefully. They should use teenage models so other girls can relate to them and even crush on them, which will help sales. Her team agrees with her idea. Back at school, Gio is taking student auditions for the music club. Half the school's girls are probably there just to see him. Song thinks Gio dresses like a gay guy and can't understand how he could be Diyun's crush. Then it's Diyun's turn for the audition. She had signed up before all this happened. Not knowing any modern songs, Song sings a rock song from his era. At first no one understands it, but gradually all the students start vibing with it, and Gio loves it the most because he's a fan of old music too. He compliments Diyun a lot, which Song doesn't like at all. Without realizing it, he brought Diyun and Gio closer. Meanwhile, Diyun goes to karaoke with her office team and a client. She doesn't drink, but the client asks her to sing and dance. The client was important to the company, so upon request she performs a seductive dance. Her team is shocked, not knowing it's actually Diyun in Song's body. The client is happy, but then he starts misbehaving with one of her team members, Nan. Diyun records his video and threatens him. If he ever looks at a girl the wrong way again, she'll upload the video online. The client becomes furious, but Nan is deeply grateful to Diyun. While everyone stayed silent, Diyun stood up for her. Later, while waiting at a bus stop, Diyun sees a happy father-daughter duo, which reminds her of her dad. She looks in a mirror and notices the wrinkles on her dad's face. She realizes that as she's growing up, her father is aging too. Maybe someday he won't be around. That evening they share everything that happened during the day. Both are angry. Song because Dooyeon auditioned despite his warning, and Dooyeon because Song insulted a client and made a video. But then they remember they must not fight. If they do, their souls won't switch back after 7 days. The next day, Song felt super uncomfortable wearing that tiny little skirt again. So he went to a shop and bought boys' school pants and wore them to school. Everyone at school found it weird, but Jio totally loved it. He felt like Dooyeon was different from other girls. There was definitely something unique about her. Little did he know, the soul inside Dooyeon was actually her dad's. So yeah, since Song's soul was in Dooyeon's body, suddenly her fashion sense got really good. She even did a bunch of shopping. But then she found out from one that the boss was mad about a video she had made about a client. So Dooyeon goes to explain the situation to the boss. The client was abusing Nan, her teammate, and it wasn't right. Nan was her teammate, and her safety was Dooyeon's responsibility. That's why she made the video. But the boss wasn't having it. From his point of view, by making that video, Dooyeon had hurt the company's relationship with an important client. He said, "One client canceled today, 10 more will cancel tomorrow. How will the company survive then?" He reminded her that his daughter will be going to college in a few years and he'll need money for that. For more money, Song needs a promotion. And for that, he has to only think about the company's profit. Hearing that, Dooyeon finally got a glimpse of how tough her dad's life really is. Meanwhile, Song, in Dooyeon's body, found out from Kyungmi that there's a mock exam coming up soon. But he had no clue what Dooyeon had been studying. So he gives Kyungmi some money and a nail polish to convince her to tutor him. But Kyungmi refuses and says she'd rather have a good meal instead. So Song takes her and Soha home where Ioa, his wife, serves them a delicious dinner. After dinner, Kyungmi finally starts helping with studies. While that's going on, Soha keeps chatting away. It was hot, so she casually mentions wanting to take her bra off. Song quickly stops her, saying that his dad often barges into the room without knocking. Meanwhile, Nan takes Dooyeon to a bar. There, Dooyeon notices her nail polish and starts talking about it, because deep down she still had the soul of a teenage girl. All the girly talk and bonding actually makes Nan start liking Dooyeon's company. Later, when Nan comes home and sees Soha, she gets super excited and jumps on her. But then she suddenly realizes, wait, this is Song, not Dooyeon. So she pulls back and starts acting like Song again. Afterward, Song takes Dooyeon aside and tells her about the upcoming mock exam. He even challenges her, "I'm gonna get full marks and prove studying isn't that hard." But the next day during the exam, Song draws a complete blank. He doesn't remember anything. So he just scribbles down whatever random answers come to mind. Later, one calls Dooyeon to talk privately. She thought she messed up again, but nope, he just wanted dating advice. Turns out he likes Nan and noticed that Nan and Dooyeon have gotten super close lately. So he wanted some tips on how to impress her. Dooyeon gives him a whole bunch of dating advice and even teaches him how to send cute messages. That night when she comes home, she keeps thinking about the whole day. Slowly, their father-daughter bond was starting to grow stronger. They were finally opening up to each other and spending quality time together. Even after following all those dating tips, Nan still didn't seem impressed by one, which was starting to really frustrate him. Then the results of the mock exam came out. Dooyeon came second to last while Soha was 3 ranks ahead of her. But the real shock, Kyungmi, the one who was helping tutor them, came in dead last. That made Kyungmi cry. According to her, no matter how much she studies or how well she scores, in the end, all that's waiting for her is her parents' chicken shop. So she doesn't feel motivated to study at all. Song comforts her, saying that she gave it her best and she shouldn't cry over the result. And as for her career, it's totally her decision. No one should force her into anything. Even Soha backs him up, and together they help Kyungmi feel a little better. Meanwhile, at Song's office, there's a big opportunity. A TV channel finally agrees to air an ad for their new product. But at the last minute, the model cancels. So one suggests Nan become the model. But Nan has major camera phobia and refuses. Then they both turn to Song. Now remember, inside Song's body is Dooyeon's soul. And she was dancing to music, having fun, just being her teenage self. Seeing that, they ask Song Dooyeon to be the face of the ad. Even though it was Song's body, Dooyeon knew all about girl products. What to use, what color to choose, how to apply lipstick, you name it. Everyone was stunned by how naturally she handled everything. Even Song's wife Oa was watching the ad on TV and felt proud. The ad ended up being a massive hit. It had the highest TRP of the day. People really enjoyed listening to Duyun. After the show, one tells Duyun that even though he followed all her dating advice, Nan still doesn't talk to him about love. So Duyun tells him to express his feelings openly. Girls like guys who speak from the heart, she says. She also suggests he bring something sweet when he talks to her next. One tries this final tip. He gives Nan a chocolate and starts confessing his feelings. Nan walks away mid-sentence and one thinks she doesn't like him. But secretly Nan is behind the shelf, listening and smiling. Turns out Duyun's dating advice did work. Nan has started falling for one too. Meanwhile, Song gets called to the teacher's office. The teacher is mad. How did a girl who usually ranks in the middle suddenly fall to second last? She wasn't that bad at studies. So the teacher decides to call her father. But Song pleads with him not to do that. He had challenged Duyun to beat him in the exam, and if she finds out how badly he did, it'd be super embarrassing. He tries really hard to stop the teacher from calling her. But the teacher calls anyway. Duyun shows up at school and starts scolding Song, acting just like a strict parent. Seeing this, the teacher is shocked and tries to calm her down, saying she'll improve with time, there's no need to scold her like that. Then Duyun starts repeating Song's own lines back at him. I'm giving you everything, working overtime at the office just to pay for your studies. And you can't even study properly. Now Song finally confesses, okay, I get it now. Studying these days really is tough. Still, Duyun keeps scolding him, chasing him out of the school. Song runs away and she runs after him yelling, Papa! Papa! The teacher is totally confused. Why is this girl calling her own father Papa like he's someone else? Later outside, Song tells Duyun he now realizes that teenage life is tough too, and studies are not easy at all. Then they find out that Jio has asked Duyun on a date. And since Song had already screwed up the exam, Duyun tells him to go on the date to make it up to her. Song doesn't really have a reason to refuse, so he agrees. Duyun picks out a cute outfit for him, does his makeup and gives him a nice hairstyle. Song keeps saying no, but Duyun won't listen. It's her body and she wants it to look perfect for her first date. During the date, Song walks around totally like a dude, which Jio finds hilarious. Meanwhile, Duyun secretly follows them, keeping an eye on everything. Joe takes Song to a music shop and they listen to old songs. Turns out they both love old music. On the bus ride, Song dozes off and rests his head on Jio's shoulder. Duyun sees this and gets super jealous. That should have been her date, not her dad and her body. When they get off the bus, Jio leans in to kiss Song. Duyun rushes over, yelling and stopping him just in time. It's super awkward, so Duyun introduces herself to Jio as Duyun's dad. But since it's actually Duyun's soul, she can't help but be sweet and affectionate. She even keeps holding Jio's hand. She asks Jio if he's serious about Duyun or just wants to date casually. Jio is weirded out by all this. Song tries to pull her away but she won't let go. She drags Jio home. Finally, Song manages to get Duyun inside the house. But she's really sad that she couldn't go on her real first date with Jio. So Song calls out to Jio from the window and asks Duyun to shine her phone's flashlight as a way of saying goodbye. It's dark and Jio thinks it's Duyun waving to him. He smiles and walks away happily. That small moment makes Duyun really happy too. And for the first time in forever she says, thank you, to her dad, which makes Song feel really good. The next day was super important for Song. The chairman of the company and major shareholders were coming to see a presentation about the new product his department had developed. So before heading out, Song teaches Duyun everything, how to talk to the chairman, what to say, what not to say. But still, Duyun needed real-time help. So during class, Song secretly sneaks out and listens to the meeting over the phone, ready to jump in and guide her if needed. Duyun starts the presentation and does a great job. The chairman and others are impressed. But then out of nowhere she says, this product won't survive even 1 month in the market. Hearing that, Song freaks out on the phone, telling her to just end the meeting and stop talking. But Duyun keeps going. According to her, the product is priced way too high. Teenagers only get a little pocket money. After snacks and other small stuff, there's no way they can spend $50 on a skincare product. She points out that even though the product is meant for teens, teens aren't stupid. If they can get something similar for cheaper, they'll buy that instead. And if teenagers are supposed to be their future customers, then the company needs to create a positive image now. Otherwise, they'll lose this generation too. The chairman doesn't take that well. He gets up and walks out of the meeting without saying a word. Dion also leaves the office where Song is waiting, completely furious. He's ready to yell at her for what she did. From his perspective, if the chairman was seriously offended, he could fire everyone, not just Dooyeon but the entire team. But Dooyeon stands her ground. She says, "Look, I'm a teenage girl. I know what we want, what we buy, and what we won't." She didn't think being honest was a crime. She was ready to take responsibility if anything bad happened. But Song is even more upset. He tells her that she doesn't understand how adult responsibilities work. You can't just think about yourself. When you're an adult, you have to think about your coworkers, your team, your family's future. They get into a huge fight over this. Later that night, Song goes to meet his old friend Park. He's done being stuck in his daughter's body, he wants to go back. He asks Park to help him, maybe through physiotherapy or hypnotism or something. Of course, Park doesn't believe any of this. So Song does something only the real Song would know. He performs an old school dance they both used to do in school and college. That's when Park finally believes him. Unfortunately, he still doesn't know how to reverse the soul swap. But if nothing else, this body swap did teach Song how hard teenage life really is. The next day, Dooyeon finds out that all the team members from her dad's department have been fired. She rushes to the office in a panic, but in the chaos, Song's phone gets left behind at home. He finds it and pockets it, then heads out to a field to play baseball. There he hears from one that he might be getting fired too. So he grabs someone's bicycle and races to the office. Meanwhile, Dooyeon had tried to stop the chairman earlier and ended up falling down the stairs. Even in pain, she drags herself to the parking lot to stop him from firing the team. But the chairman was still mad about yesterday's honest feedback. He says she can only keep the team if she personally takes responsibility for them. She begs him to listen, even tries to block his car. At that moment, Song shows up on the bicycle, but the chairman's car accidentally hits him. Dooyeon is horrified. Later we see Song in the hospital, all bruised and bandaged. Dooyeon sits next to him, crying and apologizes for everything. She finally understands now. Adult life is really hard. Her dad works so hard not just for their family but also for his coworkers, their families, and even friends. When you're an adult, you have to think before you speak. You can't just be cool and careless like teenagers are. And carrying all those responsibilities ages you faster. You barely have time for yourself. Now that both Song and Dooyeon fully understand each other's lives, something magical happens. At the ginkgo tree where everything started, a single leaf floats down and lands on Song. Just like that, their souls return to their original bodies. Now back in their own forms, Dooyeon sleeps in her typical stylish way, while Song snores loudly like usual. Then he gets a phone call from one. He wakes up and finds out. The chairman decided to rehire everyone. And they will launch the new product at a lower price, just like Dooyeon suggested. Apparently, Dooyeon's accident softened the chairman a little. And just like that, everything finally settles down. The father and daughter are back in their own bodies. But more importantly, they're better friends now, just like they were in childhood. Sure, they still have cute little fights here and there. But that's what makes their relationship so special. And that's where this sweet and heartwarming movie comes to an end. Thank you for watching.